Hello everyone, I made a video to her because I'm against obesity and body positivity because of the message spread, how it damages people's maternal organs and how it actually leads to an early death. So I'm going to be reacting to a video that she sent me, that she made in response. But it was 5 minutes anyway, so I'm going to react to the entire video anyway. So yeah, let's go. When I was fat before, it's one of the things that didn't affect me so many times.
So I don't think we have a ton of opportunities to extend empathy on the internet, and I want to take a moment to do that because, you took a comment that was faceless, and then you made a video where, you showed your face, you talked a little bit about yourself, and I want to commend that. It sounds like you have a complicated history with your body.
No, because I hated the fact that my body weight was affecting my day-to-day life, so that's the reason why I lost the weight.
Right? You describe being fat and the ways that was inhibiting to your life. You talk about how when you were fat, you were engaging in behaviors that weren't really working for you.
Being fat was one of the things that was the worst things in my life, okay? Like it or not, it was one of the things that affected my day-to-day life. That's the reason why I lost the weight.
You describe how you were socially isolated, and I can say that I empathize with that.
Well, at least you agree with us, so thanks. Because I use food as a comfort anyway, and using food as a comfort was not okay. Just to let you know.
I'm sure most fat people can empathize with that. That's a shared experience that most people who have never lived in a larger body can't relate to. And it sounds like you lost weight. And after that, you started to look around at fat people and saw the ways that they were, promoting body positivity, accepting their bodies.
I mean, sure, you can love yourself, but you cannot love yourself when you have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and you are morbidly obese. That's not love. That's neglecting your basic needs as a human being when you are that fat. So neglecting it is the worst thing people should be not going for.
They were doing all of these things and feeling happy without having to lose any weight.
I mean, sure, when you are fit and healthy, you're happy the way you are, right? You don't have to lose any weight. But when you're morbidly obese, when you have type 2 diabetes, when you have all these health problems, you should be concerned, okay? I'm not the one saying this. You should be really concerned because you're putting your health at risk. And for you to love this kind of idea where you get to be accepted by people out there around you, it's not going to work that way because it's not. Being fat is not a good thing anyway because it's actually a really poor excuse of not taking care of your health properly. And all it's doing is destroying your internal organs.
Part of that is because your body image actually has nothing to do with your physical appearance.
I mean, don't get me wrong, all right? Even if you're eating really well and you're taking care of your health properly, that's good because you're able to take care of your health. That's beautiful. You're able to be fit and active. That's beautiful. When you're fit, lean, and healthy, that's beautiful. But it's not beautiful when you are morbidly obese because that is actually disgusting to see a fat person who is not able to take care of their health properly.
As a body image researcher, that's something that I've noticed a lot when I look at the research. People think that if they lose weight, it'll make them happier with their bodies.
Now, this isn't just only about happiness. This is about your life here. If you are shoving down your throat with nothing but fast food and junk all day long, you're not going to live till you're 40. You're not going to live till you're 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. So for people out there to be morbidly obese and promoting this kind of life, would that lead you into an early death? That's important to take accountability for. So neglecting your health is not okay.
And that really isn't ever the case. They lose weight and they just continue to be dissatisfied because the problem was never really with their body. It was with the beliefs that they've internalized as a result of usually how other people treat them because of their bodies.
When they lose the weight, I feel a lot better when they lose the weight because they get to spend more time with their family, they get to spend more time with their loved ones, and they get to be more around with their own children. So they're doing it for their own children and for themselves because when their children grows up, they don't want to be in the footsteps of just medical equipment, an oxygen tube down their nose, and being in a mobility scooter. So I saw a fat person in Peterborough and he was morbidly obese, and that's a concern. So for children to go that kind of thing, no way.
You discuss how you think that the body positivity movement is dangerous because it's promoting obesity and promoting early death.
Of course it is, because my mother is in her 50s, and if she doesn't make it till she's 60 or 70 or 80 while she's eating nothing good for her own body, then she's gonna die of an early death. And I don't want that, because she has grandchildren, and I really want her to see me do well in life, because she's all I have at the moment. And if I ever see her die, that's not going to be okay. So that's a concern what I have with the facts of the movement, because all they're doing is, it's not a good thing to die at an early age.
I've done many videos on this channel about the research behind like obesity related deaths, so I'm not going to get into the research here. But I will say that, the big study that came out in 2006 that called obesity the leading cause of death in the United States was quite literally retracted by its authors for factual inaccuracies.
I tried to look this up, but I couldn't find information about this. But even if this is true, I don't know who would do this. But even if they did, it's a stupid move.
Am I arguing that there's no relation between body weight and health? Absolutely not. However, health is something that's complex and multifaceted, and to suggest that every individual should just lose weight to improve their health is really not an accurate framing for health improvement.
Now, the problem with this kind of advice is that when you are morbidly obese and you cannot move around more and you want people to take care of you, that's a problem, okay? That is an issue, because when you can't take care of yourself and you rely on someone to take care of you, that is not okay, because you lost yourself. I should not be looking after a fat person, okay? No one should be looking after a fat person. No one should, because that's not how life's supposed to be.
I think that for health improvement, all people, regardless of their body size, would probably benefit from getting in some movement, from eating nutrient-dense meals. But beyond that, I've actually tried to learn from other communities, like the disability advocacy community, and really try to reframe this idea of what's called healthism.
When you are obese and you are on a mobility scooter, that doesn't mean you are disabled. That means you've given up on life, and that means you cannot take care of yourself properly, meaning that you have to find some kind of transportation to move around. So for my advice, go on a calorie deficit.
Healthism being this idea that, we as a society tend to prioritize health as the end all be all, and that every individual should be striving towards health no matter what.
Filling your groceries with nutrient-dense foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, fresh meat, and all these products. They're very good for you because there's no processed ingredients in there, and you're able to understand what you put in your body, so that's the reason why.
But we could actually reframe that, because some people will simply never be healthy.
Like this person, for example.
And instead of focusing on are people healthy or unhealthy, what are they like as a human being?
I talk about this because they promote obesity, they promote poor health habits, they promote a life where everyone should not be going through, when in fact everyone should be going through taking their health properly. They're supposed to be learning about how they can cook for themselves instead of like using takeout and using other options as a convenience. Yes, I understand. When you are unable to cook food at home and you can't cook yourself a decent meal whenever you're working, whenever you're studying, this and that, it can be hard. And the convenience you can actually go for is junk food. So that's a convenience. That saves you a lot of time. That's the reason why it's there in the first place. So you go for drive-thrus, so you go for other places, and this saves you a lot of time. But that's a problem because it's full of processed ingredients and it's not good for you. So there are other options available at that moment, and I wish there was more healthy options that saves you a lot more time, but it's convenient and it does a lot of good for your body anyway. But don't get me wrong also, I heard about meal prepping, and meal prepping is where you cook your own food and you can prep it up for an entire week. So if you want to go for that kind of thing, go for it. You can actually create like some ideas for yourself. That way you can create for like weight gains, like gain some muscle, or you can use it for as a way to lose some weight. Just let you know.
So I've kind of made 2 points here. So just to summarize, number one, I think that the literature between adipose tissue, fatty tissue, and various health outcomes is very immature in its scope and oftentimes over extrapolated.
It will be an issue if you don't take your health seriously, if you neglect your health and you abandon your health just for some pleasure, just for some good times, like eating snacks, eating something that's actually full of processed ingredients, like cheap cornflakes, cheap like lunch and dinner. You don't know what you're putting in your body, so that's a concern. And besides, those outcomes can happen if you don't take your health properly and don't even like find some solutions for your health. So if you neglect your health and focus on things that is actually bad for your body, of course you will get these problems.
However, I also think that even if adipose tissue caused various health outcomes, that also wouldn't change how I feel about advocating for fat people, because I don't think that people need to be healthy in order to deserve basic human rights, respect, dignity.
You know, you did like make a response video on a comment I posted on your TikTok account, which is this. And honestly, if you're going to abandon your health and you're going to focus on body positivity, which absolutely does no good for your own functionality and for your own wellness, of course people are going to be talking about this, okay? So, of course people are going to be talking about this kind of issue. It's a serious issue that people shouldn't be focusing on. They should be taking care of their health, and they should be like smashing it in the gym, you know? So if you're going to abandon your health and neglect it, of course people are going to be coming after you.
Oh, it's actually worse for my insides when dumbass strangers on the internet make comments making assumptions about my behaviors and think that it will have any impact on my life whatsoever. My aim on the internet is not to convert anyone or to convince anyone of a different point.
But the message about promoting obesity and unhealthy habits is an issue, okay? It is an issue. It affects people's focus, it affects people's cognitive function, and it affects everyone's day-to-day life. So by letting go of sugar, by letting go of junk food, by letting go of all these processed ingredients and focusing on nutritious foods, which even if you spend your time on researching about where you can get it from and how you can actually afford it, that's a good thing.
For years, I struggled with disordered eating and chronic weight cycling because I believed that the worst thing that I could be as a human being was fat.
Being fat is absolutely awful. No one deserves to be fat. No one wants to be fat, okay? But you have these people out there like Tess Holiday, Virgie Tova, and other influencers out there who says what I eat in a day. What I eat in a day as a fat person who doesn't care about weight loss. For starts, I eat this, I eat that. And that's actually like a problem because all they're doing is shoving down their throats with junk. And there's a problem with it. It's full of sugars, which you don't need. It's full of sugars. They eat sugar in the first place in the morning. And they eat bread, which is sugar. They eat stuff like that, which is sugar. So it's sugar, 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 sugar. And I'm not saying that sugar is actually really bad for you. There's some good sugars out there, like fruits, for example. But with the bad sugars, they are added sugars. Plus, check this out. So basically, I work at Starbucks, and we serve currently at the moment is a pumpkin spice latte. Now, if you look at this for the smallest cup available, it's 30 grams. 30 grams of sugar! That's a daily intake of your daily recommended amount. You don't need that much sugar for a cup of coffee.
I try to make content now that illuminates different perspectives that probably would have saved me a lot of physical, emotional, and mental pain when I was younger. No one has to like it, and I understand that I post on a public forum. People are allowed to comment whatever they want.
But as someone who was once overweight, who has all these health problems before, I can tell you that being fat was never okay. And yes, people can actually comment on your video and people can actually tell you you're fat, you need to lose some weight. They're the horrible people out there. They're really awful when they tell you call fatty, eat yourself to death, this and that. They don't care, you know. The people who care about you are your family and loved ones, you know. But the people on the internet sometimes, they're just the complete worst.
However, I'm also allowed to point out the comments that I get on that public forum and show them for everybody to see. To make a very long video short, I'm just going to end it by saying that I respect any individual's decision to do whatever they want with their body, whether or not I would do it for myself.
Yes, I understand. Everyone can do what the hell they want. There are people out there who are complete assholes, like that vegan teacher, vegan gains. They target people because of their eating choices. That's a problem. They target people because of their eating choices. They target people because of how they actually go after people and just make themselves feel like they're inferior. They know what they're doing. But the problem with their message is that they're doing it like they own the world, but they don't. But whenever it comes to like factions movement, it's a whole lot different because they're promoting a movement that promotes an early death. That's the problem with what I have at the moment with this body positivity.
And I hope one day that other people can start to extend some of that respect back to me.
Of course, respect is one of the things that people should be doing. They should respect people's boundaries. They should be respecting people's privacy. And they do it because they just don't want to be one of those people who are complete assholes. So I respect the fact that you just shared this video to me. But some of the points here, they're not okay because when you are like fat and you advocate for body positivity and fat acceptance, and whenever you shame someone for losing the weight, that's an issue sometimes. So here's one of the videos I want to share from someone's TikTok account that I just found. I mean, surely the person on the left isn't actually doing anything for herself. She's just sitting down, doing nothing. And the person on the right, who lost a lot of weight, gets shamed by this person. I mean, like, really? That's why I have a problem with these facts of movement nowadays because of like stuff like this. So when you lose the weight, people will come after you and they will tell you it's fat phobic. That's a problem. So I don't like that at all. When you are like taking care of your body, there'll be fat people out there who will make a video on you and say, oh, this is fat phobic, this is wrong. It's ridiculous. People have been talking about this most of the time and I just hate it. But anyways, that's the video itself. So thank you very much for watching and I really appreciate your time watching this. Aubrey, if you're watching this, by the way, I really want to know about the study of 2006 about obesity. If you're willing to like give me information about that, feel free to do so. Because I like to know who that person really is, who pulled the study. Because if that's actually a real thing, feel free to like do that for me, okay? And besides, obesity sometimes, I don't have a problem with fat people sometimes. There's some good people, fat people out there. There's some bad people, fat people out there. There's some good people out there who are like concerned about their health and they are willing to like take action for themselves. That's good. But when it comes to like people like Tess Holiday, I don't like her because she sends a negative message about how people are perceived as and how society should be, which is like, no, that's not how society is supposed to be, basically. So yeah, obesity is actually a literal joke right now because of stuff like this. And besides, when people actually get fat shamed, it's actually like hard to take in. But honestly, it's tough. I understand. But when you have a chance to change yourself, go for it. There'll be people out there who supports you, but they're not good people sometimes when you're really fat and morbidly obese and doing this kind of like fat acceptance kind of a community itself. So yeah, overall, thank you for watching and have a nice day.